Onward to payment.
I think all of you might get in trouble if you land anywhere for too long.
That's just how we do.
It's kind of a given.
Yeah, it's kind of like what happens. Megan, playing in Siege, can attest to that. If you guys stay in one place too long, I literally just start summoning demons on top of you.
To try to kick us out of the place. Yep.
It's literally what I do. Cool. So, Megan. Go.
Yes.
How fast would you like to fly the ship? Now, granted, you only need to make the one jump to then go across the space line to 0 to 100.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask.
So you can jump to 401 because technically you go up to 501 and then go back to 401 because that's like the known space line, right? Like that's like the known the space between 402 and 401 is unknown, so you would take all those nasty penalties if you tried to do that.
Okay.
Would you like to know exactly what those penalties are? Because
No. I was just trying to. So if I go to 401, I'm good though, right?
You mean 501? Yeah.
501.
Oh
yes.
yeah. No, if you go to 401, you're good. As long as you're not
that
trying
whole line is fine, right?
Yeah. You could go jump one hex to 501 and then one hex to 401, and only be a double jump, and you'll only take the -1 or +1 to the difficulty, which makes it an 8.
Okay, so I can double jump to 401 question mark?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's what I was
that's
thinking.
exactly correct.
All right, let's do it.
I believe 8 is the difficulty. Hey,
Ooh.
no problem. Cool.
Yep.
So you guys don't get any news from 501, right? Because you're in drill space. But for everyone's just in general, since we're traveling through it, I'll give everybody like a very brief description of 501. So 501 is the Rukan system, which has Yuri Pylos in it. Now, Yuri Pylos, for those of you that may forget, and I assume that's all of you, was actually where Giorgio was from. It's his home world. And
R.I.P. Georgia.
Yeah, R.I.P. Giorgio. It was actually Giorgio's homeworld, and it's where he learned his trade. Right, it's where he became a doctor, and then began working for Westwind. Obsessively from there, and then moved about his life. But other than that, it's got kind of a rigid culture. It's very kind of mind your P's and Q's. The laws are pretty strict there. For good reason, like they have everybody's got their shit going wrong, but for a place that is known to have a lot of like physicians and medical technology and stuff like that, like you kind of need to have stricter laws when it comes to pharmaceuticals and drugs and that kind of stuff, right? And that's kind of where it all stems from. They actually have a substance on the planet that is used to basically make Lazarus patches, right? It's like one of the largest producers of Lazarus patches in the sector, which is basically like, hyped up morphine, or I'm sorry, not morphine, hyped up adrenaline, right? It's like adrenaline that can also like help your wounds stitch themselves, and they actually gather that on that planet. They mine the ice caps and stuff to get it. There's other places where that happens too, but this is like the largest purveyor of that. So cool, awesome. Somebody can write all that down. Fun, and we can go ahead and just keep moving on because there's nothing to do in 401.
Jordan.
Yes.
I can't edit Yuri Pylos.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Let me fix that. That is the 501 Rukan Yuri Pylos.
Because
yeah, somehow I just missed a bunch of like allow you to edit ones. It's real dumb. Whatever. Cool, there you go. You can edit it now.
Hey, Jordan.
Yes.
In the sector guide, is there a 401?
No, it doesn't exist because it doesn't have anything on it. None of the blank squares do.
Gotcha. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, none of the blank hexes do. At least along the ley lines. There may be some that are hidden that you don't know about in the other reaches of space. But along the hyperlane lines, that's explored space, so no need to worry about there being anything relative in there. Cool. So you want to jump again, Megan? Do you want to go all the way to 201, or do you want to go to 300 and then make another double jump? Okay, I'm not sure because I asked a question that did not require a yes or no answer, and you gave me a yes.
You said you want to go all the way to 201, and then you cut out.
Oh, I asked if you wanted to go all the way to 201, or if you wanted to... Damn it. If you wanted to only make the one jump and then make the double jump sequentially after that.
Well, it's a double jump and a one jump in reverse order, depending on... no matter which way I do it.
Right, that's what I mean.
So, I think I'm going to double jump to 201, and then just a single jump after.
All right. Let's go to 201. It's a difficulty 8. Ooh.
Ooh, that reroll.
Yeah, that reroll. Let's see it.
Oh,
we all die.
Worse.
Oh, no.
All right.
The first fail.
No.
Go.
I love it. Yes,
Onward. Go.
Tell me.
Roll me 3d6, please. Just flat 3d6.
All right, great.
I should actually make this table. I don't know why I haven't made this table yet.
Of course, this never happened when we didn't own the ship personally.
Mm-hmm. It's true. You want high, by the way.
That's pretty high.
That's pretty high.
That is
That is
good.
best as I
So,
can get.
the drill is successful. You get to where you are going. The ship does not explode upon you.
Hooray, we don't die.
However, what happened?
It takes twice the amount of time it would normally take.
Well, I
So
cut
it's
off a
like
bunch of
7
other
days.
times, so maybe that's not so
Yeah.
bad.
So it takes a full week to get that single jump that you just made instead of the 3.5 days you would normally get. So, again, and just because, Fortune, you were the guinea pig last time, I think you're up in the cockpit, and it's like, hey, okay, we're getting pretty close to time, should be dropping out in about 10 minutes, and you're, like, getting ready to wake everybody up when you drop out of space, and then you don't. You just continue on in drill space.
I'd probably give it, like, another hour.
Sure. So what's going through Fortune's mind when you're giving it another hour?
So what people may or may not know, probably don't know, is I may or may not have been lost in space before in a ship. So I'm like freaking out inside.
Sure.
I'm like, not fucking again, not again.
Yeah.
So I give it about an hour, and then I'd probably call Go frantically, like, you need to get up here. We didn't make it out. And it's just like a mess of what's coming out of my mouth.
It's literal word vomit coming through the comm at Go-Go.
So Go-Go picks up the comm and like hears this and holds it away from her ear, like as far as she can.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then it's like in between swearing, she's like, "It's fine, everything's fine. This fucking new ship, it's fine. It's fine." And then just hang up on it.
Okay. So yeah, so in like another 30 minutes, Oscar, it's probably your turn to take the comm. So you show up at the cockpit, and Fortune, it's been another 30 minutes since your conversation with Go-Go, and Oscar shows up at the to like take the helm for the next shift, right?
Mm-hmm. I'm probably in between pacing back and forth and continuously checking our position.
Sure.
In space, and like, are we lost? Okay, and then pace back. Okay, we lost. No. Okay, back and forth. Like every 20 seconds, I'm checking to make sure to see if we're still on course.
Should we not be there yet?
We should be there. We should have been there about 3 hours ago, but we're not there yet. I called Gogo. She said everything's fine, but everything's not fine because we're still in drill space. This isn't good, and it says we're still on course, but I don't know why we're not. We should be there. I just don't understand. And then take a sip out of my flask.
I suppose there is not much to be done.
Well, there's nothing to
ride
do.
This out.
Well then, I'm gonna. Okay, have fun. I gotta go clean something.
So Oscar, you were left at the bridge, the ship that is traveling through drive space for longer than you anticipated. It's not like uncommon for there to be like a few minutes of difference, or even maybe 30 minutes, or even maybe an hour, but like your shift passes and they're still traveling. So what's everybody? We got what Fortune is doing, but how is everyone else reacting to the fact that the ship is in drive space for this extended period of time?
I think that Oscar just continues on his shift.
Yeah,
like he knows that it should end on his shift,
right?
So perhaps he's just trying to ride it out. But I also expect that this is not the first time, because like he has spent a lot of time traveling on ships as an escort,
right?
Prior, like in his security duties, he spent a lot of time on in travel.
Yeah.
Probably not the first time, or the second, or the third.
No, and the fact that a system hasn't gone critical yet is probably a good thing.
So I think he would be freaking out if it indicated they were still traveling and they were off course.
Right.
But because it seems to be on the level, so to speak, he's
or if
probably
you suddenly got like a hull breach sensor from one of the cargo bays or something.
Oh yeah. Like
sure.
if there was a banging noise on the hull,
right?
Or
if the space squid devoured you, yeah.
So he probably just maybe he abandons his post for 5 minutes to make an extra pot of coffee, and then goes back with the pot itself, and tries to ride out what he expects will be the end of his ship. Or his shift, rather.
How do you feel about 12-legged spiders, Gogo?
How do you feel like not having a divinity partner anymore?
That's okay, I'll take over.
They're not technically arachnids.
No comment.
No. What if they have two human-like eyes?
That sounds even creepier.
I know, that's what
that sounds
literally
really
what I was going
creepy.
For. Boomer.
I mean, at that point, I just start thinking about the cat worms.
Yep, exactly.
From what was that from Dungeon World?
Yeah, from Dungeon World. Yep.
Yeah. Anyway,
Boomer, ships in transit far longer than you anticipated. Are you just like whistling to yourself in your makeshift workshop, working on things?
I mean, as far as Boomer's concerned, I mean, as a tech, he understands that sometimes tech is just finicky.
Sure.
And with Gogo at the helm and it being a new ship, it's just being finicky.
Sure.
I mean, we're all still getting to know each other, and it probably doesn't appreciate being Frady McFreightface. And we're all whispering our own names to it in the wee hours in the morning. I don't think Boomer's thinking very much of it, but he does need to find Fortune.
She's just temperamental, Captain, is basically what you're saying.
Exactly.
Got it. Cool. Yeah. So after a week in transit, and
well, hold up. He said he wanted to find Fortune.
Oh, yeah, totally.
So, in addition to the other stuff I'm working on, I actually need to find Fortune for a very specific reason.
Okay. Yeah. Totally.
I'm probably in one of the cargo bays next to the bike with all 3 guns laid out, broken apart, and the bike kind of sort of disassembled, but just enough to clean it. And then I'm putting it together and taking it apart, cleaning it again, putting it together, taking it apart, cleaning it again. So,
that actually degrades the parts, right?
But I just can't think about what's going on because I'm just cleaning. That's it.
Okay. Then can we focus on something a little bit more constructive? Because Fortune, I need your help. And I think about this time you actually look up at him for the first time and see he's like, Boomer's like very haphazardly holding this combat shotgun in his hand. And it's just like...
He's got like his finger in the trigger guard.
Is it pointing at me with your finger on the trigger?
No. Like his finger isn't even on the trigger. Like his one hand wrapped around the grip, and the other hand is like holding like a little too close to the barrel.
You probably have a hand on the grip and then a hand on the buttstock.
Yeah.
And you're trying to like.
And you see he like the shoulder strap is just like hanging down, and I can take this apart. I could rebuild it. I could make a better one, but I understand the concept of point and click.
Well, shooting's the easy part.
Yeah, it's the other stuff I think I need your help with. Like, how do you walk around with a gun this big? Like, how is that possible? How do you not give yourself a concussion with your rifle?
Well, first, you practice holding it correctly. So I'll probably reach out and take it. And go over the finer points of weapon handling.
Sure, yeah.
So how do I carry it? It like cross chest, or do I just like hang it off my hip? I connect it to my belt, right? That's what you do?
If you had a smaller one, maybe. But this is a combat shotgun, so you're going to treat it more like I treat my rifle.
So I should connect it to my harness?
Okay. So you see this piece of cloth here attached to the front end of the barrel and the bottom of the buttstock?
Uh-huh.
You take that and you throw it over your shoulder and you carry it like that, preferably barrel down.
Okay. So do I want it like draped across the front of my body or just like hanging down under my arm?
Cool.
How can you be this tech savvy and this weapon stupid? Anyways, no, you take it, and I take it from him. Actually, I probably put my rifle together, and I'd like, just do what I do, okay? And so I put my rifle on like I usually carry it, and I look at you.
I follow his example and start going through shotgun drills.
Sure. So you're gonna conduct shotgun drills for the remainder of your voyage, or I'm assuming this even happens like earlier on, and you guys like are in the session or whatever. But yeah, totally.
Well, I also do want to divvy up the rest of my time on this voyage with my other goals.
Yeah, for sure. So the ship drops out of hyper or drive space. You're in 201. Congratulations, you didn't die. And 201 is the pream system, or the it's actually the Intikhab system, and the third planet is the pream system, or the pream is planet pream. Jesus, call it by its right thing, Jordan. And so this is actually a tech level 3 planet that kind of arose from a failed colony pre-Silence. So they lost a lot of their tech. They lost a lot of their abilities, but tech level 3 is like 20th century technology. All right, it's basically what we have today. Like, electricity is still a thing. Like marginal space travel is still a thing from what they can do. Like they have satellites that can communicate with everything that comes through their system. But they do maintain like their own level of government. Like they don't fall under anyone else. And so the biggest thing about this particular planet is that the natives are altered in some way. It's very well known that the natives from the Priam planet do not leave because they're stuck where they are because of some type of adaptation that the humans there have gained, and they can't actually exist anywhere on any planet besides Priam. Nobody's really sure why, but it's also why nobody's really like brought them into the tech level 4 world, right? A lot of people, a lot of factions don't want to waste resources trying to get them set up. In addition, they don't really want to catch whatever these people may have, even though it's probably an adaptation that has grown like over decades, right? It's not something that or centuries, I should say. It's not something that has like just cropped up. It's not a disease or anything like that. But there's a lot of stigma that kind of goes with those type of things, understandably. So that's kind of this planet. So it's a little bit. There's not a whole lot of spam that you guys get when you come into the planet.
So Jordan, is that canon? Is it? Do we actually know that this is an evolved trait, or are you saying that it probably is?
No, that is what everybody believes it to be. No one's really done research in it because no one really wants to fuck with it.
I just want to know for the future.
I am not saying definitively that it is an evolved trait of these people.
Sure. That's
mostly because no one really knows about it. They just assume, right? They're just like, well, we're not going there because they die if they come off planet. So fuck that shit. We're done. Bye. So, kind of the deal with that. Otherwise, pretty boring, to be honest. So,
to some people,
right? To some people, sure.
But I'm quite interested in this planet.
Indeed. So, go. I'm not going to ask you how fast you want to fly the ship because you literally can only go at one speed because if you go any faster, you'll be off the map. So
can we drop here for maybe a couple hours? I'm asking the crew.
You could.
I guess mostly go.
If it's in character, Oscar would recommend we get to our destination and hit it on the way back. Like, get cargo, assess the situation, and then visit this on the way back, time permitting. He's for it, but...
Yeah, that's fine. I'm not against that, so that's fine.
Cool.
You know, if it hasn't gone anywhere in 1,000 years, it's not going anywhere in the next 48 hours, so... It's
true. It's a good point.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you guys are going to make the jump over to the 0-100 system, which is a massive system with lots and lots and lots going on over there. Hey, you got it, Go-Go. Congratulations. All you needed was a 7. I believed in you.
Yeah, I didn't kill everyone.
Correct. You did not kill everyone in this trip. There is a long trip home, though. Congratulations! Yay, everyone has arrived. You guys didn't die. It was a close thing, though. So, it is the 21st of April. In the Earth year 3264. So, you arrive in the 0-100 system, and as stated before, the 0-100 system has a lot going on. I don't know why I deleted that. That was actually bad. I'm going to have to find it again eventually. 0-100 system has a lot going on in it. It has 3 inhabited planets, which is literally like the most that any other system has. There's only 2 other systems that have more than 1, even in this sector. And the 3 inhabited planets are all kind of... I explained this a lot, I think, prior, so I won't go into too much depth in the interest of time. But just as a reminder, there are 3 planets. The first one is hold on, is this the wrong direction? Yes, it is. Okay. The 4th planet in the system is Meges. And Meges is that crazy automated defense system controlled by possible AI, ? That nobody really gets into, but in deep orbit around that planet, outside of the range of the automated defense system that blows up ships that try to get too close, the fleet and space stations of the Claris group exist. Why they have chosen this particular spot to exist, who knows? Maybe Fortune knows, but yeah, they exist. This is kind of where they have their base of operations here. Then, the 5th planet in the system is Athila, which is your destination. Athila is the system that has the ruins of these, like, feral aliens. And so it was never really developed by pre-Scream tech. It was kind of controlled by these aliens, and they either died all in the Scream, or before the Scream, or something wiped them out. Or the common reason that people believe that they have died out is because they were extremely feral and warlike. They literally fought with each other. They were basically the orcs of the world, right? Like they just literally killed each other for no reason, over like tiny plots of land, etc., etc. But now it has been kind of dubbed one of the major places of like archaeology, because a lot of people everybody's interested in the unknown, right? And so there's a lot of archaeologists and stuff that are interested in these ancient ruins and stuff. Everybody kind of has like even people who aren't in the field kind of have that draw to like, ooh, ancient Egypt tombs and that kind of thing. And that's kind of the draw here in particular. It's pretty inhabited because with the draw of everything else in this planet and the infrastructure that is required to delve through all these temples and old school, tech level 1 basically ruins, takes a lot of infrastructure behind it. So they have quite a few inhabitants on that planet. And then the 6th planet in the system is Asta, and Asta is a cold planet. It has hundreds of thousands of inhabitants, so it's not that inhabited compared to a lot of the other worlds. It is tech level 4, but it's also classified as a feral world. The people on it are considered dangerous and extremely dangerous and armed is essentially the deal, because they are a tech level 4 society, which means that they do have at the bare minimum system ships, but they also are like, there's weird reports of like possible cannibalism within their society, and like really like just repugnant social rules and social things that occur there. Like beheading people in the streets and dragging them down it so their blood can spill out over the streets, and like really, really crazy fucked up shit. So basically nobody goes there. Like nobody fucks with them, nobody cares. Like, do your own thing, people. You're crazy. Please don't come to our world. So that's kind of that planet in a nutshell.
Cool.
So,
we'll take a quick stop down there then, or?
Yeah, right. It's the closest to you. It's the furthest out planet in the system.
Yeah, Oscar's hungry. He suggests that they stop.
Yeah. Are you feeling a bit peckish?
It's a bit peckish, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and then after that, you can just fly, see how good Gogo's piloting skills are, and try to evade the AI-controlled defense system on the other planet, and
Well, that may be happening anyways.
Yeah, you see, here's the thing.
It's
not the going in that's the problem. It's the trying to get back out, right? That's always the scary part. I would not suggest you try and fly through the defense system. Just throwing it out there. DM to player.
Challenge accepted.
Right, exactly. Cool. So you guys
can I just get off here?
Right. Yeah, exactly. I assume that you set course for Athila though, right? In order to complete your goal and get your payment as soon as you get back of lots and lots of money.
Yeah.
Make everybody happy. Cool. So it's gonna take about 6 hours. Was there anything else besides what Fortune talked about and what Boomer talked about that they want to do on the ship while they're there? Because I'm gonna have Boomer. You're gonna roll some things for me.
I think it's the
typical training montages.
Par for the course for Oscar. He's dedicated to his training.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, once we finally made it to a 1, Fortune calms down again.
Yeah.
And he probably apologizes for being somewhat...
For the 20 missed calls that I have on my compad, yeah.
There's maybe
and
there's
then probably at some point finishing like my flask and Boomer's flask and Gogo's flask without asking. So
maybe one scene of Oscar bringing him like hot tea.
Yeah, chamomile
tea.
Chamomile tea.
Yeah.
Calm his nerves. Yeah.
Or like a hot toddy or something.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Like a little sprig of cinnamon or something.
Yep, absolutely.
Great.
Cool. Gogo, anything else specific besides teaching Chan how to communicate and not be a servant slave?
No, that's pretty much my goal in downtime for the foreseeable future.
Forever.
And whenever I do that and accomplish that,
yeah,
we'll see how that goes from there.
So yeah, I think market improvement is seen in like, because here's the deal, right? Like, again, if you're telling him to do stuff and he's got the collar on, he literally will dedicate all of his time and effort into doing that thing, right? So, like, he's picking up common really, really quickly. In fact, easily by the time you get back to Westwind, he'll probably have enough understanding of it, maybe even way sooner than that, to mark that goal off for whoever may have it. And, like, his social cues are getting much better. But again, Go-Go, and this is, like, the conflict part, right? It's because he has the collar on, right? Because when he does the things that you tell him to do, he receives reward. So I don't know.
Right, but then I also think that Go-Go is trying to, instill in him his, like, that by being autonomous and by doing the things that you want to do,
sure.
like, keep saying things like that to him, like, that should also garner that same response, no?
Right, no, absolutely. Like instructing him to be autonomous. Like, and definitely occurs to a degree, and, like, again, he tries to do the thing that you tell him to do. So if you're like, hey, do what you want to do on the ship, he'll do what he wants to do. But again, that's where, like,
right, it's a loophole, but I'm trying, like, there's got to be it's better than nothing.
So the problem is, like, you say do what you want to do, and what he wants to do is serve you, right? Like, so you got to get by that, and then you got to say, okay, let's figure out some things you like to do. And he's like, do you like this? And he says yes, and then you ask the next thing, and he says yes, and then you ask the next thing, and you realize he'll literally just keep telling you yes if you ask him if he likes things. And so then you have to
stop her from trying.
Right, and then you have to instruct, like, listen, it's okay to say no to certain things, and then again, the mixed signal is rough. It's rough. But progress is being made. I'm not going to tell you that it's not. Like, more autonomously now.
Well, I think just the fact that, like, he was talking to other people without me being there and stuff like that should show that,
absolutely.
Like, it's working at least a little.
And that even progresses even more. In fact, probably when you go to get the tea at one point, Oscar, so that Fortune doesn't literally shoot everybody on the ship because he's scared and having nightmares, like, you probably
he would miss.
You probably get assistance. You probably get assistance from Chan. Chan probably, like, assists you. Like, maybe he boils the water, or maybe he goes and finds the supplies for you. And, like, he's becoming a very good crewmate to have. Like,
oh, sure. He fucking comes to the kitchen when I don't want him to.
Right. Exactly.
I finally give up on trying to make him a chef, and then he does it of his own volition.
Right. Exactly. Maybe you also temporarily brainwashed him, right?
Maybe.
But yeah, no, it's a lot of things like that, right? It's a lot of.
So is that to say that Oscar has a moment of, like, engagement with him on a semi?
Yeah. So I think
yeah.
This is what I want to describe, like, his progress. So the three crew members who are not female, you are treated not as equals, but as if someone who was reporting to a supervisor or to a lead in a department of something. There is conversation that is had. He will never, like, talk back to you or go against what you say, but there's more of the kind of not small talk, but there's more of the, like, if you say, hey, Chan, how you doing today? And he'll be like, I'm doing great. How are you doing today?
Like, basic engagement.
He's more human to us than he is to Go-Go.
Exactly. And Go-Go, that is representative of what you're telling him to be, right? However, Go-Go, the thing with you still may not ever be broken, right? Like, he may always just consider you to be a higher being of life. And that's just...
I'm interested to see what he does.
That's just the way it goes, because he's like, that's literally been his entire life outside of the past month and a half he's been with you, right? So that may never stop.
Right, yeah, I understand that.
But he's treating the other crew members as if maybe they are also your, subjects. But they are clearly esteemed in a higher level because, for whatever reason, and probably if you ask him this, he would tell you, they're uncolored. Like, clearly they have learned and they know how to serve best without assistance, right? Like, that's how he sees it. He sees that if the men that are uncolored are allowed to walk around like that, then they are of a higher echelon than he is. And so he needs to treat them with respect, but they are still men, so he can still, like, converse and, like, have normal-ish human conversations with them.
Fair enough.
So I think that is the progress that we get over the course of the whole, like, 2 weeks you guys were, or, like, 2.5 weeks you guys were traveling, is, he begins to do more things, like, so, like, he's not your go boy, but if not set on another task, if, like, one of the group of you would, like, for example, there's probably a scene of, like, Boomer working on something and, like, Chan with a toolbox, and, like, Boomer tells him to hand him a tool, and he's like, does it look like this? Does it look like a wrench that is approximately this large? And Boomer's like, yes, and he hands it to him. And then there's probably, like, a scene of, like, I don't know, Oscar, what would you, like, have him assist you with?
Oh, he would totally just roll with the, like, if he realized that he would participate with the tea. That would immediately turn into, like, making
food
dinner. Yeah, it would be like semi-selfishly, but also just totally rolling with the single thing that he's ever been given by Chan.
Right. Yeah. No, and I think that he's definitely, like, now he knows nothing about cooking. That wasn't his job back on the farm.
Well, they start with the act of putting dead leaves in hot water, and they will they will roll. They'll move from there.
Yeah. And, like, he takes instruction really well, and he understands the concept of cooking food or whatever. But yeah, no, and, like, it's not gonna be great food, but, like, if it's something that you ask him to do, he would do it until given direction, obviously, by Gogo, who overrules all of you in that instance. And I don't know for Fortune. What do you think, Fortune?
He probably comes through, like, while I'm trying to either clean something or take something.
Does he, like, bring you clean rags or something, like, from the cleaning rags from, like, the laundry room or whatever?
Yeah, he probably comes in, like, to the cargo bay area, and he tries to take, like, my dirty rags and leave clean ones, and I'm like, get out of here. And he grabs a few dirty rags as he's running out. And then
absolutely.
And leave! And he grabs a few more dirty rags.
Yeah. He scurries out to go clean them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Luckily, Gogo's shotgun was nowhere in the vicinity.
Or luckily, Boomer wasn't anywhere near with a shotgun.
Right, yeah. So that's kind of the progression on Chan for a moment. If we can take that time to look at that. So yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there with Chan. Again, there's just certain things that may never occur, but progress is being made. Boomer.
Yes.
Roll me a post-tech roll.
Intelligence?
Yes. Boomer, you are successful in integrating your bioscanner and other utility into your device. You can go ahead and upgrade the status of said device. But tell us what that looks like. What is Boomer completing this thing he's been working on, or at least this portion of the thing he's been working on for so many weeks? What does that look like?
All right, so last time we saw it, it looked very much like a heavy gauntlet. It has the hollow projector over the back of the hand, the main comp parts over the entirety of the forearm. And then the survey scanner is actually attached on the lower side. And then I think the bioscanner would actually be attached near the upper arm. so that it almost links with the survey scanner and the holo projector.
Cool.
And the multi-tool is around the wrist.
Cool. Awesome. You have Pip-Boy version 2. Congratulations. Sweet. Congratulations, you successfully completed that. That was a long-term goal for you. You've had it for a long time, but you finally met the requirements to actually warrant a new designator. So, congratulations. Awesome. Now, there was another thing that you were working on, like the combat gun thing, right? I assume that was flavor for getting a skill in projectile, right? That's where that was going? Or just
no.
Flavor?
Just flavor.
Okay.
Just pretty much flavor.
All right, cool. Awesome. Yeah, go ahead.
You don't need no combat projectile skill to use a combat shotgun.
You actually
you just
don't.
point it and hope. That's the reason why Oscar gave him that in the first place.
You point, hope, and click burst fire. That's literally all you do.
Yeah, burst fire. Yeah.
He's using his points wisely. He doesn't need to waste them on that.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't go that far, but...
Okay. So, you guys set course for Athila. And when you enter the system, there is probably a lot less spam than anticipated with a system that has 3 inhabited planets. But more than likely because think about the things that are out here, right? Like, there's like a big science research archaeology place, which that's probably mostly like personal correspondence, or it doesn't have a whole lot of like, blast emails going out. There's the Claris group, so there's probably like a singular recruitment ad that you see in most other systems as well. Like, it's just there. It's like, hey, ever wanted to shoot things from really fucking far away? Ever wanted to shoot things really fucking close with a shotgun for money? Join the Claris group. That's literally the ad. Like, that's it.
No wonder Fortune joined.
Right, yeah. He was like, yes, I've wanted to do all of those things. Can I do all of those things, please? Thanks. Yeah, that's literally the advertisement. And then the other place is a crazy feral cannibalist world, right? So, like, there's not a whole lot of mail going in and out that's going to hit a lot of people.
It's just one message. It just says, please come, need meat.
Right, yeah. Right, it's basically that, right? So understandably, there's not a whole lot of traffic. It is also on the very tippy edge of the sector. Like, beyond this system, there's nothing. Like, blank space. Nobody knows anything about it. Ain't no one know what shit's going on out there. Like, it undiscovered vastness of black holes and all kinds of other nebulas and shit, right? And nobody has the resources to go search for that shit. They're content with living their lives in the current sector. Maybe once you guys get to level 10, maybe we'll talk about some of that stuff. But until then. However, the ship does receive a message. And again, as normal, if you all are up in the cockpit as you're approaching your destination, Athila, we get the scene of everybody kind of up in the cockpit. Chan's probably there too. Have you made him a chef hat out of paper yet, Oscar?
Oh, no. No, he hasn't earned that yet.
Oh, right. Okay. You're still head chef. He's the third cook. So, you arrive, and you get a message with a Westwind designation on it. And it is targeted at your ship. And it's for like a live video chat.
Oh, I open it.
Cool. Do you put it up on like the big screen, or do you just leave it?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I probably gave everybody a heads up. Hey, this is Westwind.
Okay. So you see a man who is classified as overweight, but he's one of those guys that you look at him and he probably has a lot of muscle underneath of it. And I will just make this available to everyone.
Please tell me it's Rudolph.
Show all these guys. It's not. It's this.
Damn
guy.
it! That is totally not Rudolph in any way whatsoever.
So it's this guy, right? Everybody see him?
Got it.
It's fantastic.
That's nice.
So his big face pops up on the screen, and what's not in the picture, he's wearing like a pair of glasses, and they're kind of like thin brimmed. They're obviously like TL4 glasses. They probably just like have, they're probably just like the ones that just clip onto your nose, but they don't even have to actually clip. They just kind of like hover in place with little mini grav engines or whatever.
Grav engines on him. On glasses. I like
after he sees his thing has been accepted, he's like, "Aloha, brothers.
Howdy.
How's it?"
It is. It's good.
Yeah. So he's like, "Who be for captain on the ship?"
We all probably just look at Gogo.
She slightly raises her hand.
You the crew picking up the artifact, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, he's like, perhaps I kind confuse. Lend a ship here. I send coordinates, and he like punches something on his thing, and he's like, I await your arrival. Aloha, and he clicks it off.
Well, I didn't expect to find Hawaiians here.
Well, this is not Hawaii.
No, it is not.
All right.
Let's go meet this guy.
Cool. So Gogo, you bring the ship in, and as you're cruising over the planet, and again, this is Athila. It is a warm planet, so it's a little bit it's more warm in the sense that it's very humid. It's jungle world, right? It's got a hybrid biosphere, so like some things you can eat and some things you can't. And it's got, like I said, millions of inhabitants, and it is that the ancient ruins of the feral, like warlike aliens. And yeah, so you guys cruise into this large spaceport that's kind of set in this like, it's the cities, and I put those in air quotes you can't see. The cities on this planet are more outposts. They're more like, camps. They're not necessarily like established cities. Not a lot of there's not a whole lot of like hard structures on this planet. There are some, like there's a couple of like major cities, and obviously like the places where ships land, like spaceports and stuff like that, are obviously, you're not landing on the ground or something like that. But the one that you're directed to go to is kind of a smaller, out-of-the-way outpost. So there's probably a little bit of travel time, like kind of in orbit, and you can see that the planet just looks kind of lush and probably reminds you not quite so much of Raimondi, a different kind of atmosphere than that. First of all, the air is much less thick here because it's not, it doesn't have toxins or anything in it. But yeah, no, it's and also it's more populated, so you can see that there are definitely more like establishments. Like you can see kind of glinting in the distance a couple of like larger buildings maybe that are standing up, but they're all still kind of in this jungly area. So as you guys progress through and approach the spaceport, you turn and you land, and the individual who greeted you on the comm, he's standing like waiting for you guys to land. So I assume that you guys go land.
Yeah, you go land by him.
Yeah.
Go, please.
Yeah.
So yeah, so you guys land, and you guys, so my question is, are we taking everybody on this little mission? Like, is Chan staying on the ship? Stanley staying on the ship, the normal things that when you guys land on a planet.
Stanley is not coming along.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, the normal thing when you guys depart the ship that I ask.
Chan would stay. I don't think we're going to be here very long, question mark.
Don't say that.
Okay.
Don't say that.
Yeah, cool. So you guys get off the ship, and who's the first down the ramp?
Jordan, I do want to note that I actually do have the combat shotgun with me at this point.
Yeah.
Cool.
It'd probably be me or probably me and Oscar. Probably trying to fight
the door. Yeah.
Yeah,
he's not going to fight you, but he's there waiting.
Okay,
before we even touch down.
So I think that you touch down and the ramp descends and you guys disembark.
He's got one job. He's going to at least try and do that, right?
Yeah, and the individual comes up to you and he says, "Aloha, welcome to Atela. Hope your stay is pleasant."
Do we get a lay of flowers?
My apologies, brothers. I did not introduce myself. I am Hiapo Moana, but you can call me Hiapo.
Oscar gives him a little kind of a karate bow kind of thing.
Yeah, and so he's actually still approaching you as he's talking. And Fortune, he goes to like embrace you in a hug.
Oh.
I probably freeze. I probably don't give him a hug back, but I let him hug me.
Sure, yeah, he gives you a hug, and then he like disengages, and he turns to you, Oscar, and he goes to give you a hug.
So I think Oscar just gives him a bear hug because he has no idea what to do other than mimic what he is doing to be like socially acceptable.
Sure. What's your strength, Oscar?
Oh, it's not bad.
Okay.
Hang on.
No, that's my concern. Is it might be too good.
You crush him.
No, he's not. I don't think I actually have a bonus. No, it's a 13. I don't have a bonus in it.
Yeah. So if you give him like a big bear hug and like re-embrace, he squeezes you a little bit. This dude's strong. Like you can tell. Like maybe not chains level strong. But yeah, he's like he kind of like does the thing and he like maybe even like picks you up a little bit. He's like yes, this is good. And, so Boomer and Go-Go, I assume you're the next down the ramp?
Yes.
Yeah, no, he introduces himself again and goes to embrace the both of you. How do you guys react to that?
Go-Go probably just gets smothered by him because
no doubt. Small. Absolutely. Yeah, no,
so
absolutely.
She really doesn't get any time to react, and he probably picks her up just because.
No, he does.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gogo's just like,
Yep. Then Boomer, I assume you just stoically give him a hug back and...
Yep, he's just gonna take it.
Sure. Yeah. He pops your back. It actually feels great, Boomer. And he says, come with me. We gonna see the... And he's like... You can see him like he's searching for a word, and finally I think he just shrugs and he's like, the ding, and he begins to walk off.
We follow him.
Sure.
Yeah, I follow.
Cool.
After looking at the rest of us, like, what was that just happened?
Yeah, there's probably like a collective like quiet glance around the crew and then we just go off after him.
Sure, yeah.
On the way I would probably, because we have effectively 0 details, right?
Yeah, so you're here to retrieve an artifact from a representative of the Westwind Corporation here. And you're to retrieve said item and bring it back to headquarters.
By this point, Oscar's curiosity will definitely have gotten the better of him.
Sure.
And he will at least try to get some details out of this guy about, like, what it is they're shipping.
Yeah. So, like, as you're walking, walking down the staircase of the spaceport and, like, you're walking into, like, this kind of large... It's like the one hardened building that exists, like, in this little camp. And he says, well, let me tell you, brother, we don't know quite what it is. Well, we can't get to it currently.
How is that?
At this point, I'm going to start scanning things with the horizon.
Sure, yeah. He kind of, like, he does the, like, turn and, like, looks around. He's like, well, between you and me, it's something old. Older than typical ruins. Seems like the mandates were here before or during the, what the fuck did I call these aliens? Jesus, I'm bad. The Abu found something in one of the ruins.
Are there ruins left to be unexplored then?
He kind of like, so I think he probably like stops for a moment and kind of like, he like adjusts his glasses a little bit and like looks at you and he says, You guys is the retrieval team, yeah?
Oh yes, we're here for retrieval.
Yeah, he's like looking, he's like inspecting like your outfits now.
I'm sorry, you cut out, so I didn't quite catch what that was.
He's like inspecting your outfits, like your gear that you have currently on you.
But what did he say? I didn't hear whatever it was he said.
You guys is the retrieval team, yeah?
He asked if we were the retrieval team.
Oh, says Oscar nods enthusiastically in the affirmative.
Sure, yeah.
Yes.
So, like, it was satisfied with that answer. He continues walking, and he says,
"Okay,
we was digging into kind ruins under there," and he kind of like points in the direction. You can see like there's a large like canyon that kind of like is overgrown a little bit, and the rock formation has like a large opening that goes into it a little ways. And you're like approaching that area, and then you enter into the building, and you can see that there's an elevator that goes like down from here, ostensibly to bring you like down to somewhere. And there's people kind of milling about in here. There's a lot of them have the look of like scientists or archaeologists or people of the science profession in some regard. And the building feels like really sterile and clean, kind of, as you enter. And he walks over to the elevator as he's explaining this to you, and he opens the door and he kind of like extends a hand for the group of you to go in.
I go in.
Yeah, I follow.
Yeah, so you get in, and it's a glass elevator, right? And you begin to go down. You go through a couple levels of the building itself, and then you're surrounded by rock, like all around the glass elevator, and the lights like kind of flicker on, right, as you guys get into the darkness. And you begin to travel downwards, and he begins to explain to you. He says, "My kind and me, we specialize in Abu ruins. However, we found a door. Door kind mandate. Or at least, we think.
Interesting.
He's like, we didn't want to go any farther than the dig let us. It's out of my area of expertise."
Pardon, but how do you know what is on the other side then?
I think, yeah.
What are we to retrieve?
Yeah. So I think he like adjusts his glasses, and he smiles real big. He's like, "I show you, kind." And you get to the bottom, and the door opens, and you see like this large, basically, you may have to contain yourself, Boomer, but there's like a large multi-complex of like computer equipment and all kinds of survey gear, and just basically it's a treasure trove of mechanical equipment designed to help in archaeology or help in data retrieval, but it's all kind of top of the line. In fact, you can see now, kind of at the very end of your vision, that there are like tons of view screens at like this large kind of half moon shaped like command area, and there's a bunch of people like working, and they have like headsets on, and like there's a lot of like stuff going on. And you see that as you walk in, and I say a lot of people, there's probably like 10 people in here, and they're all kind of like walking back and forth, and you can see that all these cameras are like interior cameras inside of these weird archaic ruins. There's just a lot of like, it's like they've gone into the ruins, and they've set up like remote cameras so they can monitor different areas of the ruins. And I think that he brings you over to like a console that's kind of set to the side, and you see him very, very adeptly kind of type in his credentials. He scans scans his handprint. It's biometrics, and it brings up and it says, welcome, Hirapo Moana. And as you open it up, he clicks through some things, and you can see it cycled through like a bunch of camera views. And then he lands on one, and you can see that there's this large kind of metal door that is clearly like incorrectly placed in the rest of the area, right? It's the door itself is like very different from the ruins. First of all, it's metal and mechanical, and all the ruins are archaic tech level 1 kind of thing. And so you see that, and he says, we was able to make a hole big enough for the camera to go in, and this is what we found. And he kind of like, he selects a different camera, and you can see, and it's somewhere clearly like inside of this place, right? Like inside of the place. And you can see that there is there's a large device kind of in the place, and it has a bunch of like power cables and stuff like running out from it, and it kind of forms into this large ball, and it doesn't look like anything significant. It looks like maybe it's like a power generator or something, but it looks like, based on the stuff you can see around it, the only thing that's like intact, right? And he looks at the group of you, and he says, we think it's a computer. We haven't had the time to look at it in kind, but we're hoping with your help we can do so.
What do you need us to do?
He kind of looks, and he's like, I was told that one of you perhaps could open things up, so my team can go in.
Depends on how you want it opened.
Well, with your permission, may I patch into your system?
I think that he says, well, we had these credentials made up for you, and he kind of like he probably moves over to like one of the workers, and he has a short conversation with him, and the worker like runs off and comes back just like a minute later, and it has credentials. They're like blank credentials, and he walks over to you and he says, it's real easy. All you have to do is the place card in here and biometrics. And he like instructs you, like, you guys can basically attune these cards to your biometrics.
Cool.
In the
all right,
system.
Going through the process.
Yeah, cool. So I assume
we stand in a short line to get these done.
Yeah. I assume all four of you do that. So yeah, you have access to their systems. Probably not full access, but you at least have enough to get the job done.
Speaking to DM, our directive is to transport this back to Sorgen.
Transfer it back to HQ, yeah. Back in 307, or 308.
Alright, at this point, do we even know if it can be removed? Or is it locked behind this door?
It's behind this door. They had enough to get a camera in there, or at least like a camera drone, maybe, perhaps. But they can't get any equipment in there, anything beyond that. And the drone appears to like be placed in a specific location. It's probably like a very small, size maybe like a computer mouse drone that they were able to get in there.
Okay, I'm going to start going into the systems and start doing my own diagnostic to see how accessible it is and what we can do to help from a tech point of view.
Yeah, so you get a readout fairly quickly of like there's a computer terminal that's associated with the door, like on the exterior. It's locked through some means that they have not been able to crack. They're probably just not as good as you. And that's like kind of the point of you being here. Like, you see a couple of options before you. They're able to drill through the like surrounding rock, and because the interior of the place, according to Hiapo, is somewhat like desolate, it is or somewhat like destroyed. They were able to like tunnel through like an alternate route to get in there, to get the drone in there and able to like go through, but it would take a long time to dig out the rest. And like the bad part is they don't want to do that, right? They want the doors to open like they're supposed to, because then they don't have to worry about destroying anything and they can preserve more of whatever is in here, right? Because this ostensibly is not the only thing in here, but this is like the one thing that's important, at least for now. But they want to keep as much stuff intact as possible, so like that's probably why they haven't used demolition charges yet either, or anything like that.
Well, I'm not really an archaeologist, but this definitely looks like it's in my wheelhouse. And I'm going to start accessing the system.
Right, and they're not really computer hackers, so this is definitely not in their wheelhouse. Okay, cool. So, like, in order to... So the console that's on the door itself cannot be accessed from here. You actually have to go there physically. And that's because if this truly is mandate tech, you have nothing that's compatible with it. Like, it requires manual input.
Okay. I'm just going to set the strap of the combat shotgun a little bit more comfortably and reset the position of the horizon so it fits my arm better, and look at everybody else expectantly. Like, all right, let's do this.
All right.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, Oscar is waiting. This is not his forte. He's waiting for direction.
It's like, well, Boomer, just tell us where to go.
Unless somebody screws up and, like, bugs start pouring out of the walls, he's waiting to...
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Or if he needs something heavy moved or obliterated.
Sure. All right, cool. So, that's probably a great time to take a quick little... Actually, no. Before that. Yeah. So before that happens, I think that as you guys are getting ready to leave and getting ready to like head into the ruins, and Hiapo is like he's telling you, he's like he's gonna go with you and he'll guide you through the ruins. It's probably like a 30-minute trek or whatever to get through the ruins, and he's going with you to make sure you guys don't break anything or anything they're working on. That typical thing, the typical archaeology thing. And Fortune and Oscar, roll me perception checks based on wisdom. Cool.
Right.
Okay. You both notice that Hiapo is carrying. He's got a weapon on him. Not unusual, but he's the only one you've seen so far that has a weapon on him. And I think...
What is he carrying?
You can't tell. You can just tell, like, it's in, like, the small of his back, and he's, like, carrying maybe self-defense, who knows. But with a 7, you can't make out the outline or what it might be. But maybe a sidearm of some sort.
Could I make like a tactics roll to try and determine what it is, or
no,
is that
I think
kind
that's
of double
perception.
tipping?
Yeah, no, I think you would have needed a better perception check.
Yeah. And this is we're still inside at this point.
Yeah, so it's not. It's not unusual for people to be carrying, right? Like, and especially since he appears to be in charge here, and Westwind is not adverse to guns, right?
Yeah. I wouldn't be working here if they did.
But it's like he's intentionally trying to conceal it. But you guys are probably smart enough to know that he's working with a bunch of archaeologists, and ostensibly probably an archaeologist himself. So, like, open carry of weapons is, like, something that people probably don't, like, necessarily do in that profession.
Yeah.
So, like, you guys are smart enough to, like, realize that, but, like, it does send, like, maybe a little bit of a pang in the back of your head of, like, hey, if this were a completely safe environment, he wouldn't be carrying, right? Like, that's the information I'm trying to get across here.
Got it.
Or maybe he's just more comfortable with it. Who knows? But I think right before you guys walk out, you hear one of the guys down in like the command area. He shouts something, like, "Hey, look!" And all of you turn around and you see on the view screen. It's the same view screen for the camera drone. You see that like there's a couple of arcs that come out of this device that you guys are going to retrieve. And Heiapo, he like runs over there like real quick, and you can hear him saying, he's like, okay, how many arcs? Where exactly did they come from? Let's make sure we get this recorded. Let's compare it with the old data. We'll see what's going on, etc., etc., etc. And then like after like a minute or so of you guys kind of like waiting, he comes back and he kind of sidles up his pants. He's like, okay, we go now, brothers. And he marches out. And that's a great place to take a break.
Yeah.
For like 10 minutes.
Excellent.
Okay.
Be back at like 7:25 EST.
Sure.
Sounds good.
Cool.
Megan, are you still there?